Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Global Perspective with Kaswar Klasra. We are going to discuss Trump administration move to end temporary protected status, TPS, for Afghans who fled after Kabul's fall in 2021. Is it a vote of confidence or a death sentence? Trump's TPS decision puts Afghan lives in peril. Headphone, it's a thumbs up for the Taliban, and a potential death sentence for thousands of Afghan evacuees in America. The Trump administration has decided to end temporary protected status, TPS, for Afghans who fled after Kabul's fall in 2021. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says the situation in Afghanistan has notably improved, and it's time for Afghans to return. But veterans of the Afghan war and advocacy groups say this move breaks a moral promise and ignores the dangers awaiting returnees. Here is a million-dollar question. Is Washington's shifting tone? Headphone, confidence in Kabul, from Washington. Trump's administration signals it now sees Afghanistan under Taliban control as stable enough to end TPS. This amounts to Washington's first public recognition of Taliban's governance structures, whether implicitly or strategically. Behind this recognition is a political message: Trump wants Afghan evacuees to go back. This shift aligns with broader immigration crackdowns and political messaging ahead of the 2026 midterms. Let's discuss the reality in Afghanistan, where headphone security may be up, but at what cost? On the ground, Taliban rule has brought order, but also repression. Human Rights Watch says the humanitarian situation has worsened. Over half the population needs urgent help, with nearly 3 million facing emergency hunger. Women and girls have been erased from public life, and crackdowns on journalists and aid workers continue. For many evacuees, former interpreters, women's rights activists, journalists, returning means almost certain persecution. Fact is that veterans sound the alarm. Headphone, veterans are furious over broken promises. Groups like No One Left Behind and #Afghan Evac warn of deadly consequences if TPS is ended. Matt Zeller, an Army veteran, predicts physical standoffs. If they attempt to deport Afghans, you'll see conflict between veterans and ICE. Veterans argue Taliban targets anyone with U.S. ties, not just combat roles. Even non-combat workers, janitors, cooks, drivers, are at risk. Veterans say this is about trust and honor. We promised these people safety. Also, it's important to discuss political calculations. Headphone, immigration politics over human lives. Trump critics say this is part of a wider anti-immigration drive, wrapped in national security language. Yet, ironically, TPS cancellation is alienating Trump's core base of veterans, many of whom risked their lives alongside Afghan partners. Representative Brian Mast and other Republicans argue not all evacuees deserve protection. Creating a moral hierarchy of worth. But groups ask, should survival depend on your job title at Bagram Air Base? Listeners. Headphone, America's credibility is on the line. Roughly 10,000 Afghans in the U.S. rely on TPS, now facing possible deportation starting July 2025. The Trump administration's trust in the Taliban may be real, but so are the threats to these people. As one veteran put it, these are real lives, not talking points. The Taliban doesn't check resumes. They kill people for being associated with us. Whether the courts, Congress, or public backlash will intervene, the clock is ticking. However, one thing is for sure, that is, Taliban have improved security to great extent Afghanistan.